Hello and welcome to this crochet tutorial on how to take these large sunglasses that you use over the regular size glasses and place them in an envelope type crocheted closure or envelope. Then we will take and we'll have a chain stitch that will help tie our closure and make it into a beautiful little bow. And look how nice and snug in this thick yarn that we use to have our sunglasses not get scratched while in our purse or our backpack. Come join me and let's make this crocheted sunglasses case together. The materials and tools that we will be using to make this sunglasses cover is a size 8mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle. We're going to be using 3 different yarns to make it thicker. I'm choosing a variegated. This is by Red Heart. It is the French Connection, I think it's called. Here I have some light yellow, which matches the yellow in the variegated, and some white. Now the sunglasses that I'm using for this demonstration are the kind that go over a regular pair of glasses. So the size for this sunglass case will fit the larger sunglasses. Notice the width here is a little bit wider so that it allows it to go over your regular glasses. Let's get started. So to begin, let's take 1 strand of each of our colors. Leave a tail of approximately 10 to 12 inches. We'll use that for sewing up on one end, and then place a slip knot. After you place your slip knot, insert your hook and chain 22. 1, 2. I'll meet you when you have 22. Please pause your video. After the 22, we're going to skip 2 chains. Do not include the one on your hook. We have 1, 2. So in our third, we're going to place our first of 20 double crochets along the chain. So here's 1, and in the next one, continue till you get to the end. Double check your count. Make sure you have 20. Please pause your video. At the end of the row, we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. In our first one right here, we're going to place our double crochet, and we're going to do 20 across, chain 2, and we'll do 20 across again. So you're going to do 1 and then 2. Go ahead and complete those 2 more rows for a total of 3 rows, and I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. At the end of the row, turn your work. Do not make a chain. In our first stitch, we're going to pick up a loop and then go through the loop on your hook. We've created 1 slip stitch. We're going to do this 3 more times. There's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2, and in the same as this first one right here, we're going to place 1 double crochet. Continue across with 13 more for a total of 14 double crochets. Once you have completed the 14, you should have 1, 2, 3 open chains on the end of your row. Our 14th one will be in the 4th one. Go ahead and do that. I'll meet you there. Please pause your video. To continue on, we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and 14 double crochets across. Continue this for a total of 6 more rows, and I'll meet you there. I'm going to ask you to pause your video, but you may want to turn on a YouTube video so you can watch it as you take a little bit of time of putting this together. Don't forget to come back now because we're almost done. See you in a few minutes. So after the additional 6, I found that I was 1 row short, so sorry, my bad. Let's do a chain 2, flip your work, and do 1 more row of 14, and then we're going to start our decrease row for the shaping of the closing of the flap. For our next row, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. In our first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, over the next 2 stitches, 1 half double crochet each, over the next 2, double crochet, and if your yarn is being like mine, go ahead, pause your video. I'm going to pull some more yarn out. Alright, to continue on, our next 2 stitches are going to be trebles. To make a treble, we want yarn over twice, insert the hook, pull up a loop. Now we're going to go through 2 loops off the hook at one time. So there was 1 set of 2, 2 set of 2, now 3 set of 2. Let's do that one more time. Okay, notice how it slightly goes up. Now for the rest, we're going to do the same as we did. So let's do 2 double crochets, 2 half double crochets, and 2 single crochets. And this completes our crocheting. Okay, leave a long enough tail so that we can go ahead and weave it in. So get my scissors. I'm going to pull it through. Alright, so this is what we have so far. Let me get a better picture for you. It kind of looks like a giant rocket, little pointy end up here at the top, straight down with the 2 ends coming out. This is what we are looking for. We're going to make a folded case. And the nice thing about this with the extra yarn, it makes it thicker, so it will help protect your glasses. So let's get out our needle and start sewing up some ends. So the first end we're going to start sewing up is the one we just completed. Let's go ahead, and for me, when I thread my needle, I put it between my 4 fingers here and bring the needle up from behind and pinch it to the eye of that needle, and then place my thumbnail and make it a little tight, and then I take it and weave all of that yarn, that folded yarn, through the eye of the needle and pull it through. If you choose to go on this end, you'll see how it could fray and come apart. We don't want that to happen. So bring it so that you have a short tail. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to go through the stitching along that last row. I'm going to go through about 4 stitches. Can you see where the needle comes up here? And pull it through. You want to pull it just tight enough so that it brings all of that stitching down to where you want it at. Okay? Now I'm going to go under the chain stitch from the last row, and that'll help act as a stopper so that my needle will not pull that yarn back out again. And then I'm going to come up in between the stitching here on the end. Now when you pull it, you don't want to pull it tight, you just want to pull it so that it stops, and then stretch it a little bit, and then go ahead and cut our yarn. And that takes care of one side. So let's get to sewing our end pieces here, and hopefully it won't be confusing. We're going to get some yarn, our 3 colors, and we're going to go ahead and fill our needle up. We're not going to use the tail just yet because I want to show you how this is going to go on, and because this is at the end, I didn't want it to confuse you. So let's go ahead and we're going to start here, but you can still start on the end, but I want to show you how this does. So go ahead and make a length of about 12 inches and load your needle, and we'll get started in a second. Now on the edge right here, that you can determine how you want it to look. If you look at it and you see the little loops and the straight line down here at the bottom, I consider that the wrong side. And if you flip it over and look at it this way, you can see how it has a nice finished edge. That would be the right side. So I want to make it bring it to your attention so that you can see how it can look. So I'm going to have my wrong side facing up, and I'm going to bring my needle and place it right here in this corner, this stitch right here, and bring it through. Oops, don't want to pull it all the way through, and then just place a small square knot in your yarn. Okay, and we can cut this off later. So at this corner, we're going to pull up a few stitches here. I'm going to go right through the middle of that stitch, and then I'm going to go through the first stitch on the other side. So we're pulling this end together like this. Okay? We're just going to do like a basic whip stitch. Oops, get the tail out of the way. There we go. Okay, and make sure all your strands are the same length. Okay, and then we're going to come back over here, and we're going to hit another stitch and pick up another part of the chain and pull it through. Okay, do it again. So we're making it so that all of our whip stitches is going to be on the inside. So we're going to actually flip it out this way when it's done. Okay? So now we're going to come and pick up another stitch, Now this time we're going to be coming down along the edge. Remember, because we had 3 stitches that were open, so now we're going to go along the edge. So I'm going to pick up some of that chain stitch right here. And then you'll notice how this long piece is going to start folding up on us. So let's tighten that up just a little bit. Come through part of the stitch. And we're just going to keep on going and do our whip stitch. Okay, and I'm going to pick up that last chain right there. Oops. Now after you pick up that last one, I'm encouraging you to go through it 2 more times because it is the end point, and that way it won't stretch out. There we go. Now I'm going to take my yarn and I'm going to go along this edge right here because it's the inside. Remember, this is our wrong side. So I'm going to go through this right here, go down about 4 or 5 stitches. Make sure it's a little snug, and then go over half of that stitch. And then go back where you came from. Now to securely double secure, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go over a few stitches and then go back where I came and pull it right on out. Okay, and then snug it up and cut it. Okay, now here's what it looks like on the inside. So basically we did like an L shape here. Now we're going to do this on the other side. Go ahead and thread your needle on this, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So for our second side, you see how we stopped here on this row. So take your finger, go all the way across, and insert your hook into that stitch. I mean your needle. Okay? And we're going to go through it twice. So we're going to pick up, this is our wrong side again. We're going to pick up that stitch. We're going to go through it twice. There's 1 and there's 2. Now we're not done yet. We're going to keep on going down the edge here. Okay? So line it up and go through your stitching. Just like you did on the other side. We want to pick up our stitch. Alright, and we're almost at the end there. Okay, so here we are. Now if you want to double check, we got 1, 2, 3. So we're just going to basically fold it. There's 1. I know I'm getting close to the end of my tail. So we want to pick up those chain stitches. There's 1. Okay. Oops. Here we are at the end. Alright. Now I'm going to go ahead and go around it one more time, and I'm going to go through, see this row right here? I'm going to go ahead and finish my stitching there, so that way I can weave in this end, and because it's on the wrong side, you really won't see it. Okay. Since you see I have a little bit of yarn left, that means I'm going to go over the top of that one part of the stitch. I'm going to insert my needle, and then I'm going to see if I can rethread it here. Of course, it's not as easy the other time. This is the second time around, is it? Okay, so I got 2 in. Let me get this yellow one in. See how it frayed? You don't want to put the open end in there. Oops, come on. There we go. Okay, now we're going to take and spread it out a little and then pull it through. You know, if I was doing this by myself, I wouldn't have these problems. Okay, since it did stretch, we want to pull it back. There we go. Let's cut our yarn. Okay, so here's what we have, like a little pocket. So, oh, here, I forgot to cut this one. Okay, now let's take our ends here, flip them through. There we go. Okay, let's double check to make sure our eyeglasses will fit in there. Perfect. Okay, we got one more thing to do, and that's the closure. Okay, now I'm going to make a suggestion, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for this video. Now you can take and put a magnet in here, which I don't really recommend, but you can follow the manufacturing instructions. The reason why I don't recommend it is because of the possibility of scratching your glasses. So let me show you how I'm going to finish this off, and we will continue on. So what we're going to do here is we're going to make a long chain of approximately, I'd say 50 chains. So go ahead and do your 50 chains, and if it's not long enough, we can always add more length to it. But go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you in a minute. Please pause your video. I have to be honest with you, I'm horrible at pre-planning. So I'm going to do a total of 75 chains. Go ahead and do that, and then we're going to go ahead and cut our strings, and I will show you how to finish it with the tying of the closure. Now that we have our chain, let's go in between our 2 trebles, and instead of going half, I would like you to pull it back about 10 stitches, and then we'll have our halfway point. Go ahead and just place a little slip knot there. Okay, now your long one is going to be the one that wraps around to the front, while your short one will help be part of the bow that I thought would look kind of cute on this. Okay, so it looks kind of like a nice little package. And here we have our completed sunglasses case. So I hope you enjoyed this crocheted sunglasses tutorial. These are great for the heavier the thicker glasses that we do wear over our regular eyeglasses. With this simple design, you could make this in no time at all. It would make a great gift for a friend or for yourself. You can make many of them. Put it in your backpack, your purse. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with me. Please come again when I will have another crochet tutorial, cooking tutorial, who knows. I know many things that I enjoy doing. I might even cut my hair, who knows. But thank you so much for joining with me on this tutorial. If you like my channel, please subscribe. That way you can see what other things I may come up with that you may enjoy making yourself. So until then, bye-bye, and please come back again and leave a comment if you would like. I'd love to hear from you. Till next time, happy crocheting!